Now on the show, I want to take a look at a new Chinese film that is now screening in Australia called Article 20. Now, this is an interesting film because, of course, if you're a fan of Asian cinema like I am, you will know that quite often Chinese films are compromised in the fact that they have to be state approved to be released in China. Now, that normally means that the film can't be critical of the government, it can't be critical of the police or anything like that. So that's what makes this film so interesting, because in Article 20, the main character, Han, played by Lei Jiyin, is a police prosecutor. And one of the messages he constantly tries to get across in this film is, we can do better. We can treat people better. And so for that case, it's interesting that this movie got a release in the first place. Even more surprising is it was released on Chinese New Year and has become one of the highest grossing movies of the year so far in China. Now, what happens in this film is that Han, who's a little bit of a lazy prosecutor, he kind of likes to go around the edges and not stir up trouble or anything like that. He gets called in to a case that involves a character called Heo, played by Zhao Zanilia, who is a singer, and her partner Wang, played by Yu Hou. Now, they are a victim of harassment, and Heo's actually been raped after they borrowed money from a gangster named Lai, who is a violent loan shark. Now, after seeing his wife attacked and being degraded himself, Wang actually stabs Lu 26 times, and he dies a few days later in hospital. Now, Han initially doesn't want to be involved in the case at all, which kind of frustrates his colleague Lu Lingling, played by Ye Jiao, who he's formerly had a relationship with before he was married. Now, they do end up getting thrust together into this case, which also provides a little bit of humor on the same time, because Han's wife, Li, played by Li Ma, believes that they're having an affair, which they're actually not. But at the same time, Han also faces problems on the home front when his son, played by Lai Yaowen, faces criminal charges after he ends up punching and restraining a school bully who he seems viciously abusing somebody else. That soon finds Han and his wife in a lot of trouble with this bully's high-profile dad. Now, the cases kind of mirror each other as well, because on one case, Han is trying to protect somebody in the workplace that he believes was bullied, and says that this guy shouldn't be charged because him and his wife was bullied. On the other side, he's seeing exactly what can happen when you stand up to a bully, with what is happening with his son. Now, I have to say, this is a brilliantly written film. Even though it's kind of intense with the cases that it's dealing with, I've got to say, this is no Criminal Intent or anything like that. This is pretty full on with the stuff that you're shown in this film, especially around the crime. And you've also got the fact that there's crime gangs basically coming for anyone that's working on this case, whether they be prosecutors, their families, or anybody. Especially, and you quite often feel sorry for Heo because of what's happening to her, because these guys are coming to kill her, basically, or kidnap her daughter. There's so much going on there. But, this film is brilliantly written. Li Meng and Wang Tiani, who wrote this, have done an amazing job writing it, because you're constantly on the edge of your seat with suspense of what is going to happen to these people. But at the same time, there's elements of comedy in there as well, especially revolving around Han and his wife and his colleague. There's times when she suspects that they're up to no good. They're actually not, but because of the compromising position they've been found in, it looks like they are. The film is also directed by Yimou Zhang, and he's done a marvelous job with this film as well. It would not be easy to put this film together because of its mix of genres. Like I said, it goes from being like a Liam Neeson style suspense to the next minute there being a scene that's making you laugh between the three characters. But beyond all, this is a movie that makes you think. It makes you stop and realize, like, what people have to go through. Like, this prosecutor is facing this case where he doesn't want to have to charge this guy, but this guy has technically done wrong, and it's putting people's lives in danger now. But it's such a weird film in that sense that it changes genre so quickly. But it's like it'll show you something really, really brutal, and then the next scene will actually have you laughing. So to me, that is absolutely amazing writing. I think they've done a brilliant job bringing that to the screen. And the stuff around the sun as well, it's just so well written. There's a scene where Han and his wife go to confront the dad of the bully, and it's such an intense scene. It's something that we don't often get to see in a Hollywood production these days. So to see it in a film like this is just absolutely amazing. Like, this film has a comment on so much stuff. Yes, it has a comment about where we are in society. It has a comment about the way that the Chinese prosecution system works. But it also has a say about marriages as well, because you could argue that there's times in this movie that Han needs support and he doesn't get it. And we see the consequences of his wife not taking his advice. In a way that I'm not going to spoil it because it's a pretty major spoiler. But look, Article 20 is a brilliant film. It's brilliantly written, it's brilliantly directed, and I've got to say, the acting is just absolutely amazing as well. I really do believe that if this was an American film, you'd kind of be talking about Lei Jian being nominated for an Oscar for his portrayal in this film. Also brilliant is Zhao Zanilia as well. She is fantastic, playing a character who is mute and deaf, and now fearing for her life and fearing for her daughter's life. It's just, this is an absolutely amazing film, the way it's written, the way it's directed, and the way it's performed. So if you get a chance, go and check out Article 20. I'm actually going to give this film 5 stars because I think this is going to be one of the best films that we see this year, and there's very few crime thrillers like this out there that leave you in suspense the way this movie does. So yeah, I'm giving Article 20 5 stars.